Sports on Tap is brought to you by Go To Pro Plumbing, Land and Sea Motorsports, On the Bay Customs Boutique and Cafe.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
I don't know what we're yelling about!
I mean, listen, we're talking about practice. Not a game. We're talking about practice.
Loud noises!
Not a game.
This is the first time in my life I'm glad I'm deaf.
We're talking about practice, man.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
65.
63. Knew it, I'm surrounded by assholes.
Kick the tires and light the fires, Big Daddy.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, with loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping. With music that's jaw dropping, they getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening and you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and rock with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater, you better just let it go when all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's cover this on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. If we take a fucking tight end, I quit. You can't let that shit happen. You can't.
Welcome to this week's edition of Sports on Tap. I am Chris Scott, alongside Frank Giagata and Joe Wydell. Gentlemen, how are we?
Fantastic.
Good.
Absolutely wonderful.
That's great to hear.
How are you?
I'm doing just fine.
You know, I feel like when we give you an answer after you say, how are you guys, we give you an answer, and I feel like you ask the question, you really don't give a shit. You're like, how are you guys? Okay, cool. Anyway.
I do care. That's why I ask. I'm fine from now on. I just won't fucking ask anymore. We're just gonna go right into the fucking show.
I mean, it is kind of odd that he waits till the microphone's on to ask us how we are.
Yeah, that's fine.
He just kind of opens the door when we get here and looks at us and goes, "Hi."
Wait, I don't even think we got a hi.
I said fine. I'll stop from
if
now
he
on.
honestly
That's
cared,
cool.
he'd probably ask off.
Welcome to this week's edition of Sports on Tap. Let's go to the bets.
Okay.
If you've had plumbing problems,
go.
you're definitely not alone. The next time you have an issue, there's only one place to call. Go To Pro Plumbing. They're a local family-owned company with 15 years of experience. Based in Centerline, they serve the Metro Detroit area, keeping your pipes clean and flowing with fair prices and happy customers. They're open 7 days a week for all your plumbing needs. The knowledgeable and experienced staff will keep you informed of their progress every step of the way to make your experience as smooth as possible. Call Go To Pro Plumbing today at 586-250-2881. That's 586-250-2881. Go To Pro Plumbing. When your pipes won't flow, call the pro.
It's time!
It's time for the picks. Frank, you want to lead it off? I knew you were going to do that, too. I knew you were going to do that. I couldn't stop laughing long enough to actually take the intro.
Chris has a tendency to just decide to go silent on us. Just stops talking. Yeah, sure, I'll lead it off.
Thanks, Frank.
Not a problem, man. At least somebody's going to start talking. My first pick, we're going with a FanDuel boost. They've got Kucherov or Aho to score the first goal. It's at plus 625. I'm going to go ahead and throw $5 on that.
Nice. I like it. My first one is going to be the over in the Lakers and Suns game. I'm not about to pick who's going to win this game. If I had to, I would take Phoenix. But I'm definitely going to go with over. Right now, I think it's at 207.5. I'm going to take the over in that game.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with the NBA. I saw a super boost on FanDuel. It's got James Harden going off for 25-plus points and the Nets to win at plus 200. So I like that.
It's a solid bet. I am going to go with the NHL boost that they also have going on, other than the first one. Both Winnipeg and Colorado to win. Plus 200.
Nice. I'm going to give you the MLB parlay. That didn't really fit. I just wanted to. I just want to throw a jab at you.
Yes.
I'm gonna take a same game parlay here. I'm gonna take the Twins minus 1.5 against the Orioles, and I'm also gonna take over 9 runs in that game.
Nice. Going back to the NBA, I got going to the Portland-Denver series. I'm going to take the over at 226. Yeah.
Go to you, Joe.
Okay.
We're going to save my last special one that I was telling you guys about for the end.
Gotcha.
That'll spur a conversation off of it, I'm sure.
Okay. So my next bet is going to be I'm going to take the Texas Rangers and the Colorado Rockies to go over 10 runs. I'm going to throw a bonus one in here. I'm going to take the Oakland Athletics, can't spit my words out, to beat the Seattle Mariners money line.
Nice. I'm sticking with Major League Baseball. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays laying a 1.5, and I'm also going to take the under 7.5 first in New York Yankees tonight.
All right. So before the show, I teased you guys a little bit with a really stupid parlay I was taking.
That you did.
All right. So the parlay, it's the same game parlay.
Okay.
And it's for the Celtics-Nets game. I'm going to take the Celtics money line. I'm also going to take the Celtics with the spread, which essentially just cancels it out as long as they go money line. I'm taking the over with 234.5. And then I actually bought an alternate spread. And I decided to give up 3.5 points for the Celtics. So I think they will cover. All of that, I threw $10 on it. I got it at a plus 1,574.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, you hit. You're
As long as the Celtics win, I pretty much am going to cover that because they're going to have to go over to end up beating the Nets.
Yeah, which I don't see that happening tonight. So, we'll see. Crazier things have happened. So.
I don't see that happening either, but you know what? I'm rooting for you, bud.
Hey,
absolutely.
I figure why not? $10.
Yeah.
Win 150 something.
Yes.
Works out.
Well, and those are the picks. And
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest homer same game parlays I've ever seen in my life.
But I'm glad you ended on the NBA because we were talking about this before the show and kind of figuring out what we wanted to talk about today. And your hero, LaFlop James, LaQuit James, LaFraud James, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He did it again. He literally quit on his fucking team again.
Literally,
he quit on his team. I'm sorry for all you clowns that think he's the GOAT or whatever. Stop it. Goats don't fucking do that.
And what is it about LeBron James? I'll just call them slappies. What is it about them that makes them have to constantly put out memes and put out stats to try and prove that he's the GOAT when I'm a Jordan slappy.
You are. Yeah.
I consider myself a Jordan slappy. I don't care. I don't go out throwing a bunch of memes out that prove that Jordan's the I don't have to give you a bunch of stuff. In my opinion, there is no question.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
Like LeBron fans, they always have to justify as to why they think LeBron is the GOAT.
4 of 10.
I think you also have a little bit of a difference in what's going on. With Mike didn't come around until after social media, or he came around before social media.
Right.
LeBron has come around during social media. So to say you don't throw things up that prove that Mike's the greatest, no, but would you have in the 90s if social media was a thing?
No, and I can now. I mean, there's plenty of...
There's a difference in something that happened last night that LeBron did that people go ahead and share shit from, as opposed to what Jordan did 20 years ago, sharing stuff from.
Yeah.
This just happened. Jordan's flu game. If Jordan played his flu game in the social media era, that'd have been everywhere all the time.
I agree with that.
Because things like that are what people share. So when LeBron does something great, people are going to share it. The problem is I don't know if people in general or if the hater, and I'm not referring to you guys only as the haters, but the people who don't like him as opposed to the people who support him, I don't know that there's really a definitive way to say who would have been worse just because the Jordan fans came around before the computer social media thing really was around. You couldn't do that in real time. Jordan, or in LeBron's case, it's happening in real time right now.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point. I just there's plenty of Michael Jordan fans that could come out and put out things right now to combat all the people that put out. It's definitely a louder voice of LeBron fans going, "Oh, look at this! This is why he's to go. Oh, look at this! Why this is why he's go. Look at this! This is what."
Everybody wants to be a part of something great. So if you're going to sit here and you're going to be a LeBron slapdick, hey, cool. I'm a huge LeBron fan. I'm a LeBron fan. Well, guess what? 20 years from now when he's in the Hall of Fame and people make up their mind over who is the greatest, if LeBron's the greatest, all these people are going to be saying, I told you, I told you, I told you, because they all want to be a part of it. And then on the flip side, you were a Mike fan. And you mentioned that. Hey, I'm a Jordan fan. I've been a Jordan fan. I've always been a Jordan fan. I'm always going to be a Jordan fan. 20, 30 years from now, when the next great basketball player comes up and he's getting compared to LeBron, some kid today is going to do the same thing that you're doing.
Well, I tell you what, the only comparison I personally can make, and I have no problem comparing guys to Jordan as far as like who was close. I think the one who had the chance to be
Kobe.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I'm not going to argue that. In my opinion, Kobe's the greatest basketball player that played. I'm not saying Mike isn't great. I'm not saying LeBron isn't great. My opinion, I would have taken Kobe over both of them.
Oof. I mean, I love Kobe, and I think he came the closest to Mike. But I take Mike every day of the week,
Mike
twice
was
on
incredible.
Sunday.
Yeah, he made one of the greatest movies, Space Jam.
Yeah,
and LeBron's about to ruin it. So.
LeBron's about to ruin something else.
Right.
But anyway, so we kind of got off track there. But
no, it was just an interesting thing I've thought about because I just punched the mic. The LeBron conversation comes up so often.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking about it, going, okay, why does this happen? And it almost came to the situation of social media.
Yeah.
Social media is happening in real time. LeBron's career is happening in real time.
Yeah, I guess it
Jordan
explains.
already happened.
I guess it explains why it seems like LeBron slappies are always first to come. Not even come to his defense, but even before somebody decides to say something, they're coming to his defense. Like they're trying to pre-defend him before you even say anything about him. It's like, why are you? Chill out. Like cool. You think he's the greatest, and other people don't. But why do you have to be so adamant about it?
So aggressive. It's incredibly aggressive how they have to defend him.
Yeah.
The way, and literally the way you just talked about it is the way that I think greatness should be defended. You didn't mention anything Mike did. You just said, I'm a Mike fan. Because Mike's career stands on its own.
Yeah.
I don't have to defend why he was great. I don't have to defend why Kobe was great.
Not a bit.
20 years from now, you're not going to have to defend why LeBron was great, but you are going to have to make a case for him to be the GOAT, just like I'm going to have to make a case for Kobe to be the GOAT, because Mike is the GOAT.
I beg to differ on one thing there. I believe you will have to defend LeBron 20 years from now. For the same reasons we've discussed in here, why, in our opinions, there's no way he can be the GOAT. With his constant flopping, his constant faking of injuries.
But that's why I say you're going to have to make a case for him to be the GOAT. Because 20 years from now, we're going to know that Jordan's still the greatest. LeBron's not going to be in that conversation. You know, I hate to compare it to hockey, but I know hockey. You guys know hockey. It's just the easiest way for us to kind of communicate when it comes to athletes. We've watched Crosby play. We've watched Ovechkin play. Those guys are going down as two of the best players to ever play. But at the end of the day, neither of them really accomplished what Gretzky did.
No, God, no.
So where we were talking about those guys in the same conversation as Gretzky at the beginning of their career, it's kind of fallen off at this point.
Yeah.
LeBron still has years to go. He's going to probably fall off. I don't see a situation where his career ends and people are calling him the greatest of all time. I think they will try to.
Right.
But definitively, it will not be able to happen.
Well, and I think one thing here is, if you were to sit here and tell me now or 20 years from now that Kobe to you is the GOAT, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even sit here and argue with you. I'd be like, I can understand why you think that.
He was a fucking great player.
I can understand why you think that. I disagree, but I can at least see from a point of view of somebody who was more in the Kobe era than the Jordan era,
right,
then I can see you watched Kobe play, and I get why. I will defend more somebody who says LeBron's the greatest over Jordan. I will defend that more. I will go, you're fucking nuts. now, if a Kobe Bryant fan says Kobe Bryant is, then I'll be like, well, okay, that's your opinion. I'm not going to argue with you about it. I think Michael Jordan still is, but your opinion doesn't, right or wrong, it's yours. Saying Bron? No. LaFlop? No. No. LaQuit? No.
I think when you get to the moment of, Jordan's career has played itself out. It's done. It's over with. LeBron's still going. I think every little thing he's doing is why you're getting these slappies that are like, see, he can do this. See, he can do that. See, he can do that. You don't have that ultimate trump card that you have with MJ.
When speaking of see what he can do, for those of you that are watching right now, we're going to see what he can do, and then we'll talk about it for the podcast listeners. So here we go.
Down the lane, layup shot, no good.
LeBron standing underneath the net,
17th rebound for DeAndre Ayton.
Literally quits.
Bridges out to Crowder.
And they just hit a three.
Jay Crowder from downtown.
Literally quit.
And you're only down by 7 with a minute and a half left.
So to explain that, there was a minute and a half left, and Schroeder drives the lane, misses a layup. LeBron doesn't even leave his feet to go up for the rebound.
He literally watched him.
He watched him rebound it, watched him toss the ball around, and push the guy out of bounds a little bit, and then dropped his head down to sulk. Meanwhile, Phoenix drives the ball down the court. Everybody on the Lakers gets back. Even Schroeder, who missed the layup and fell on the ground into the crowd area, got back on defense. Then Phoenix hit a wide open three with a minute and a half left to go up 10. They were only up 7. They hit a three to go up 10. Why did they have a guy wide open? Because LeBron quit underneath the net.
Yep.
And guess what happens in that video? You still never see LeBron make it all the way down the court. Tell me, would Jordan or Kobe, I'll even throw Kobe in there, would they have ever done that?
No.
Ever.
No, I can't see that.
Not a fucking chance in hell.
Dude, I don't think Chauncey Billups would have ever done that. I don't think AI, with all the fucking attitude problems he had, would have done something like that. I don't think Melo would have done something like that. D-Wade, I could go through and list off.
I think Carmelo would have done that.
I could see Melo doing that. Yeah, 100%. I could see Melo doing that.
That's the
Let's be
only.
honest, though, Melo was never really in a position to do it either way.
That's true. But he's the one out of all those guys you said, he's the one that I disagree with. But yes, you're right. The rest of those guys probably never would have done that.
Like, he is. There's this thing about LeBron, and I don't understand who appointed him the Millennial King.
ESPN did.
I almost want to call him the Millennial King because
ESPN did.
And it very well is probably what it was. Like, ESPN when they were doing his highlights
when they were doing his fucking high school games.
Mm-hmm.
That's ESPN did it.
Yeah.
But I look at LeBron, and he actually, I'm not going to say he completely lost me as a fan because I still enjoy watching him when he doesn't do dumb shit like that. But at the end of the day, like, what he did last week when, I want to say it was Russ. Was Russ the one who got the popcorn spilled on him? And LeBron came out and started talking about, I want this guy injured, and I want him fucked up. And, dude, it was a bag of fucking popcorn that they poured on a guy.
Right.
And you want blood, calm yourself down, dude. You were at a 10 at all times for no reason on things that nobody cares about.
But when stuff comes up that people do care about, you fucking shy away from it.
Yeah, he runs.
Yeah. And Jordan did the same thing. He did. He absolutely fucking did.
I was actually going to point that out. That's the one area where Jordan didn't really speak up on anything.
Right.
That's the main difference there is LeBron is willing to speak up on things that he feels like he can stand on a pedestal for. And he's not willing to speak up on other things where Jordan didn't want to stand on a pedestal for anything.
And that was the thing, is he never really did. Jordan always, it was always known that Jordan wasn't, play-wise, he was a role model. as far as his personal life, he wasn't really a role model.
No.
And he didn't want to be. And he knew that he probably shouldn't try to be.
Right.
LeBron is the one who's acting perfect, trying to be the role model and all that. And I respect that, but at the same time, be yourself. If you are that person, then be you.
Right.
If you're not, shut the fuck
And
up.
this is why I call him a fraud, because he is. He's a fucking fraud.
Yep.
100% he's a fraud.
No, on all of that, I agree with you guys. He's at the point where he's overplaying himself.
He's like, no, I'm LeBron. I can say whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all well and good. You want to say and do whatever you want, but be prepared for the backlash of it, because you're gonna get it, and you're constantly gonna get it. And
you have a playoffs,
and then you seem to have an issue with it when you get that.
That's
backlash.
what I can't
It's
figure
like,
out,
dude. If you're gonna be that type of guy, be prepared for it.
Like, you know how society is.
Right.
You know the way things are. Like, you are literally doing this in cancel culture. You're not immune to it.
Right. Yeah, it's
Well, and so another subject kind of comes off of this, and you talked about it. So LeBron got pissed off at the guy who threw popcorn on who did he throw it on?
Russell Westbrook.
I think it was Westbrook.
Okay. So we've had a rash.
Fucking blood
Dude.
for it, too.
He wanted blood for that, and in a way, I understand where he's coming from, but I mean that he just took that too far.
Right. If we're talking about the guy last night who runs on the court.
Or what about the dude that threw the freaking bottle at what's his face?
Yeah.
At Kyrie.
At Kyrie last
Who
2
fucking
nights
does
ago.
that,
3 nights.
man?
Something like that, okay. But we're talking about you're going in the
Or there-
tunnel,
or
you're
there
off
was-
the court, you got a bag of popcorn dump. Like, am I saying that's appropriate? Absolutely
No,
not.
but it's popcorn.
But it's popcorn.
But there's been a rash of shit happening at NBA games, and it's so somebody spit at Trae Young.
Oh yeah, that one too.
They threw a bottle at Kyrie.
I think you locked up a bunch of animals for over a year, and now you're releasing them into the wild. Like, people don't know how to fucking act.
But is that a good excuse for? I mean, listen, I hate society as it is, but these people are making me look at it, go, hey, lock them back up.
Yeah, like what the fuck is wrong with you,
Dude, I watched it, no bullshit, on the way here. I had a dude right in front of me. Him and some guy next to him are yelling at each other. The guy goes to get into the turn lane. The dude next to him fucking cuts him off. Then he's in front of me. I'm on the phone. Like, I'm dealing with my mortgage guy.
Yeah.
He's in front of me, and he sees me in the rearview mirror, and he's going like this. I'm like, hey, what is going on right now? Where did this come from? Why is this? And that's how people are in general right now. Like, this shit is coming from nowhere for no reason.
Right.
People are just losing their fucking minds.
Well, you see it, especially with the NBA stuff that's going on right now. It's trending toward another Malice at the Palace. It's trending in that direction.
It is.
It's
It
going.
is.
It's surprising it hasn't happened.
I know. It's.
And did you hear Kevin Garnett's response to Kyrie?
I did.
He's like, well, he stomped on the leprechaun. So what do you expect? Time out.
Take
Wait,
it easy, guy.
Wait a second. So because he stomps on the leprechaun logo, when Boston, as a city and as a fan base, trashed Kyrie, which, don't get me wrong, I can't stand Kyrie, but they trashed him. They wanted him out of town. They wanted him shipped out. He got shipped out. He comes back. He steps on the logo, and it's okay to throw a bottle at him? Come on, man. That's a totally different. That's totally boo him, yell at him, curse at him, but throwing a bottle at him, that doesn't. Stepping on a logo doesn't excuse somebody from throwing a bottle at somebody.
And what are the odds that was a coincidence, anyways? This asshole probably threw a bottle at him. He just happened to step on the logo right before that.
Well,
in my opinion, that's
it's
probably
very possible.
what happened.
It's very possible. Neither one justify. I mean,
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is an asshole being an asshole. Whether he had a reason to be an asshole
Right.
or not doesn't matter. He's still being a fucking asshole.
Right. Like, you can't, like Kevin Garnett coming out and trying to justify the fact that somebody threw a bottle at him is just insane to me.
Right.
Like, because he stepped on the logo? Get the fuck out of here.
I think that's a guy who just needs attention.
Just
Nobody's paid attention to KG
Yeah.
in a long time, so that KG's like, oh yeah, I can say something because it's the playoffs, and
Other-
they'll talk about me because it's Boston.
Other than that shitty
And
Adam
anything is
Sandler
fucking possible.
movie he was in,
I didn't even see that piece of shit.
it was bad.
I started to watch like 10 minutes of it and went,
It was called Uncut. You're shrugging. It was.
No,
called,
I know what it is,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. It
Yeah,
was
I know.
Uncut Gems,
Yeah.
and Kevin Garnett was a big part of the movie, and this movie got put up on like a pedestal as like it's a great movie. You need to watch it. I watched it. I was bored the entire time, and I was so pissed by the end of it that I didn't turn it off and stop watching it. But I just can't do that with movies. I want to see if it. I got to see it out. Once I'm in that lane, I got to drive it all the way to the end.
Right.
And it was so bad. It was awful. It was just fucking bad. Anyway, so is that where this rash of bullshit's coming from? Is it because we were locked up for a fucking year?
I think people have just lost their minds.
I'm just. I guess I can't say I'm shocked at how society acts.
No. I honestly, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's just the disrespectful nature of society as a whole now.
That too.
And I think the whole COVID thing kind of goes into it because, I mean, we were locked up for so long and we couldn't do stuff, but you got these guys out there still playing and making millions of dollars, and fans are pissed about that. Which, okay. Sorry you weren't blessed with like God-given talent to play professional sports.
Yeah,
but this isn't their fault. Especially when we were locked up, they were playing to fuck. So you guys gotta have something to fucking watch. Like, and you're mad at them for doing it. Like, what are we doing here? It doesn't make any sense. It does make sense to me because society as a whole are fucking idiots. So yeah, it does kind of make sense to me, and I'm not even remotely surprised that this shit is happening.
No, I'm not surprised by it whatsoever.
I honestly don't want to see it escalate because you're gonna get something like
it's going to.
It's gonna that is trending significantly in that direction.
I think if that's all it gets to, we're going to be very lucky.
Yeah, Malice at the Palace will happen again.
I think it will. I absolutely think it will.
If this type of shit continues and they don't get it under control,
right?
Malice at the Palace will happen again, and it will probably be worse than that because the worst that happened at Malice at the Palace was couple of dudes got knocked out by NBA players because they were on the court.
Yeah.
And the NBA players ran into the stands and started swinging on people. Nobody really truly got hurt.
Right.
It wasn't really like they got hurt. And anybody that really got hurt was actually on the court and running on the court.
Yeah.
In that case, that's you. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Right.
You're not supposed to be on the court. So just because an NBA player goes into the stands doesn't mean you have full reign to go on the court and try and hit him. Because guess what? NBA players, they're not football players, but they're
big.
athletes.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
And they're gonna knock you out.
Right.
So
yeah, it's probably not the people we want to mess with.
But that's the thing. Like the guy who ran on the court the other night when he got tackled, I think they should have whooped his ass right there. Just whoop his ass.
That's what I was saying with the LeBron thing. Like, if you're calling for blood on that guy who legitimately put you at risk,
right?
Cool. I'm not gonna say shit about that. Have your feelings. Say whatever you want.
Right.
But popcorn.
Yeah.
It's a fucking bag of popcorn, dude.
Well, and I want to call out the security at these games too, because
it's.
Listen,
Is there any?
Well, there was one guy that tackled that guy that ran on the court, and then after that, you see him kind of lay on him and try to hold him down, and nobody is coming to help him. Not one person. One of the players walks over and kind of stands next to him, but nobody is on their way.
At him like, hey, you got this?
Yeah, like nobody's on their way to help this guy out. One security guard tackled this dude and is trying to hold him down until they can escort him out, but nobody's coming to help.
Well, and like Popcorn Guy, I watched the video of Popcorn Guy be escorted out. He was escorted out by the equivalent of my grandfather. Like, somebody came up to him and politely asked him, hey, can you please come with me? It's time for you to go.
They need to do like what they did like in Casino with like the mafia guys when they caught people cheating.
Yeah,
just take them in the back, just beat
take them in the back and just
have
beat them.
Actual fucking security.
Right.
No disrespect to the older generation, but guys, you're not the tough guys you once were. Like, you've got to do things a certain way. Like, there's no fear in me from an old man coming after me for doing something.
If you get up 5 times a night to pee, you shouldn't be a security guard.
Right.
Probably not.
I mean, but that's one thing about basketball.
I'm trying to find a nice way to say it, but yeah, that.
Like, that's one thing that is cool about basketball, though, is there is so much like access. You can actually sit literally courtside, which is fucking awesome.
Right.
That's great. But you're gonna have assholes that are gonna completely fucking ruin that.
Yeah, you know? like these 4 or 5 guys recently, and it's all been within the last month that this has happened. It's gonna escalate too far at one point.
Oh, absolutely, it's going to, 100%. And it's sad, but it's just the way society's trending. It's fucking shitty.
And you hit the nail right on the head with the way things are going. There's no way around it.
Unfortunately, it's just. I guess the word by all of us, it's fucking sad.
It is. It's
we're living in literally, I feel like we're living in a movie right now.
We're living in idiocracy. That's literally what we're living in. We're living it in real time.
I feel like we're living in a combination of movies. Idiocracy is perfect because society's been headed that way for a while, and then I feel like we're also living in like a weird movie where, you never would have thought until this last year that a pandemic and being locked up and having to wear masks everywhere would happen anywhere other than a movie, but it has, and we're living in some weird fucking movie that is like Idiocracy with a pandemic and something else thrown in to where it's
sprinkling the spoiled and entitlement of the fucking younger generations.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then all these assholes on social media who would never dare fucking say some of the shit that they say to these people's faces without fear of getting the fucking shit beat out of them.
Who was that? Somebody on Twitter. I want to say it was a UFC fighter.
I think it was Tyson that fucking said it.
Was it Tyson?
I think it was Tyson.
Somebody had mouthed off to somebody on there, and they basically responded to him like, "Would you say that to my face?" And the guy came back and he was like, "Nope."
Oh, it was a UFC guy. Yeah, it was a UFC guy.
He's like, "Nope, I wouldn't. You'd kick my ass." And I looked at it and went, "I respect that dude because he knows.
Yeah.
That's what I would do." Like,
see, now that's the type of guy that I would get along with though, because he actually knows and he will admit. Yeah, I'll say these things on Twitter and social media because I can get away with it.
Yep.
Would I ever say that to your face? Fuck no.
Nope.
Because you would kick my ass.
Because you're 6'4", fucking damn near 300 pounds, and you'll kill me. Mm-hmm. And you know how to.
The only person I respect more would be the person who would do it to their face because they're doing it on social media and they actually would do it to their face because they're just that crazy of a person. I would respect that person a little more. But other than that guy was honest. I respect that.
I think I would try to seek help for the person who would actually do it.
That's fair.
Hey, I mean, sometimes you got to yell shit at the athletes you don't like.
I guess, but it, like
just
Frank
don't throw
said,
shit at them.
Yeah, like Frank said.
And if you do, make it popcorn, not a fucking water bottle that's full.
Right.
Do it with something that's not going to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
No need for that shit.
And stop running on courts and fields, please. Just stop.
You don't belong out there.
No.
If you belonged out there, you'd be out there.
Yeah. I have yet to see. I want to lead this in somewhere, but I have yet to see anybody run on the ice for a hockey game. I would like to see somebody actually scale the glass.
I mean, the only closest they come is when that dude fell into the penalty box with Ty Domi.
Yeah.
And you saw how poorly that went for him.
Or shit, even like in the 70s, it was a Bruins Rangers game, and like a bunch of the Bruins players went into the crowd.
Yeah.
like Mike Milbury and those guys started fighting the crowd and shit. That's crazy.
Was such a piece of shit.
Yes, that guy is a piece of shit. 100% piece of shit.
Speaking of hockey pieces of shit.
Yep.
Chris.
Are we going to have a therapy session here?
Well, from what he said, he's over it. It's apathy. Chris, do you want to lead this one off, or you want me to explain it?
About my piece of shit hockey team? Sure.
Yeah.
I'll lead it off.
Okay.
I have questions.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Shoot.
You lead it first. Yeah,
fair enough.
I will ask you the questions as, as they come.
Yeah, it's trending in the direction of apathy with this team now, and there's a lot of blame to go around. And people say, it's the goal. It's Freddie Anderson's fault. It's Austin Matthews' fault. It's Mitch Marner's fault. It's Kyle Dubas' fault. It's Brendan Shanahan's fault. Blah 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 blah. It goes on and on and on. Like I said, there's a blame to go around everywhere. If you want to lay blame, the majority of the blame, I will put it at Kyle Dubas' feet, simply because he put together a team that was not balanced, and you cannot pay 4 fucking forwards. Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews are making a combined $22 million a year, and for 3 fucking points in the fucking playoff series.
1 goal.
1 goal, 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
John Tavares, your captain, and he got hurt. I understand that.
Yeah,
But for what you're
Can't
paying
hold that one
him,
against him.
even last year, for what you're paying him, he's not producing what he should be producing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is why I'll blame Kyle Dubas on this, because with Mitch Marner held a gun to his head, and he said he wanted a certain amount, and Kyle Dubas obliged. He said, "Here, take this," which you could have taken that money and you could have spent it significantly better than on one fucking player. You could have got multiple players that are built for playoff hockey, not for fucking regular season, not for showboating like he does. Same thing with William Nylander. William Nylander did the same thing. He put a gun to his head and said, "This is what I want," and he ended up fucking getting it.
Didn't Nylander actually sit out?
He did.
Yeah, he
some
sat out
games,
like 2
and
months.
then got what he was asking for.
And then even when they signed John Tavares, I was not a fan of that signing when they did it, and I'm not a fan of it today. Dude, you can't do that. you like I know the Blackhawks kind of did it with Kane and Taves
Mm-hmm.
and Keith and Seabrook, but here's the difference: you
Two
sign
on the
two
front,
forwards,
two on the
two on the
back.
back. Yes, and Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook, they were great defensemen.
And during that decade, they were probably two of the top 3 defensemen,
Exactly,
if not top 5 defensemen.
But when you load up, when you're literally your roster is incredibly top heavy like it is, then yeah, you know what, you deserve blame for giving guys that deal and not building your team properly. Now, while he deserves blame, as does Brendan Shanahan, because he basically signs off on this because he's the president of the team, I will also place blame on the players. Absolutely. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Mitch Marner, dude, like, this series, you look like you play scared. Like, what? I don't understand it. And then after the game, he's whining about, I've never played so bad. Dude, tough shit, man. You play in the biggest hockey market in the world, and you're going to get, there's pressure, especially on the guys who get paid the most to produce when it matters. And these past 4 years, you have not done anything to even remotely justify your contract.
So, at the beginning of this hockey season, you made mention to me of one name that you were interested in Toronto signing, and that was Zdeno Chara. And that was because of leadership, and that was because he's been there before. And your team turned around and answered you with Joe Thornton.
I would have taken Chara over Thornton, 100%.
100%.
Especially on the back end, 1,000%.
As much as I do like Joe Thornton,
he's done.
I think Joe Thornton is not. I'm not gonna say he's done.
He's done, man. He's done.
I mean, that's a debate that we can have. I'm not interested in it. Basically, what I was saying was with Thornton, the way I always look at it is you want a veteran who's been there to take you there. Having a veteran who's never been past the third round of the playoffs.
Joe Thornton made it to the Stanley Cup final.
When they
lost to the Penguins.
What year was that?
Fucking like 5-6 years ago.
I have no recollection of the Sharks making it. Okay.
Yeah.
Either way.
They played the Penguins.
But at the end of the day, they didn't win.
No, they didn't win. I think they went to Game 6.
Yeah, okay. So you need a guy who has won to take you there.
Yep.
Shanny knows that. And that's what bothers me. Because what the Red Wings did is they went out and got him. And they got Mike Vernon. And they got all these guys who had been able to win in different places.
Now, it was easier to do it then.
Fair. But these guys also were putting teams together of a mix.
Exactly.
Veteran leadership, veteran guys who could still play.
Grinders.
Young guys.
Yeah.
With what Toronto did, I was really interested to see how this season would go because they put so much youth on that team. Do you think allowing this team to stick together and build, or were you serious last night when you said tear it down?
I think you blow it up to a degree. I think if you can trade Mitch Marner and or William Nylander, and I would say Mitch Marner first of all, and you can get Seth Jones for him, fucking do it in a heartbeat. Do it.
I think that's a no-brainer.
You do that in a heartbeat. Or if you can take Mitch Marner and get 2 players for him, do it. 100% do it. And you got to figure out your goaltending situation.
What is their minor league system look like? Because Toronto's I'm not familiar with.
It's not horrible. It's 2 years
Do they
ago.
have pieces they can move?
I think 2 years ago they won the Calder Cup.
Okay,
so
they have some pieces. That
they got
they
got some pieces down there that they can, but here's the thing, they don't have any draft picks. Like their draft picks are like depleted.
See, I look at this and we talked a little bit before the show, and I think you hit it perfectly when you were talking about it, Chris. Is they spent too much money on the top half and not enough on the bottom half. They didn't spend any money on that defense, and I don't even think goaltending is a problem. I think it's defense more than anything. You can't have that many high-priced forwards
that basically play the same type of game.
They're built for
the regular season.
They're built for the they're built for the regular season. They're built to put butts in the crowd. They're built to score goals in the regular season and put up a bunch of points. and get a bunch of points to make it to the playoffs.
Fucking jerseys and shit like
Yeah,
that.
but they're not built for playoff hockey. So you need to have that mix, and they don't have that mix because they spent too much money on their forwards. And I agree with you. They need to do something with Marner and Nylander, and Austin Matthews. I think needs to kind of take his head out of his ass a little bit when it comes to playoff hockey. He needs to learn how to play playoff hockey. But They need to spend the money in a smarter way, and we also talked about it before the show. I think Dubas is relying too much on analytics.
Oh yeah,
to be the engine rather than just a tool to help push the car along. You know what I mean? Like he's way too reliant on the analytics of it, and you can't. It needs to be a tool, not the complete and utter end.
At the end of the day, the superstars still fucking matter.
And at the end of the day, it's still sports. It's still human beings. It's still you got to do some things off a gut.
Yep.
You have to do certain things that are not by the numbers, and that's just the way it goes. You can use those as a tool, but it can't be the only thing you rely on.
But you also have to have a coach that can realize when his team is being, I guess, outworked, for lack of a better term. And you need to change what you're doing. Montreal figured out exactly what Toronto wanted to do, and their coach had a perfect defense for it. And Sheldon Keefe did nothing about it. Nothing.
Another question, now that you mentioned coaching. If Babs is there, is this any different?
No. Because they didn't want to play for him. They quit on Mike Babcock.
Right, but take that situation out. If Babs is, in a perfect world, Babs is fine there. They have a perfect relationship. Everything's cool. Mike Babcock's their coach. Coaches the way that Babcock coaches. Do they win?
No. Okay. No, I don't think so. And I don't want to say fire Sheldon Keefe because it's only been 2 years.
Right.
But if you can get Gerard Gallant, do it. Go after him. That's a dude that's he took a fucking expansion team to the Stanley Cup final.
Mm-hmm. And I think right now he's the answer to a lot of teams' problems.
He is.
Yeah, he's going to be very highly sought after.
Yeah.
After.
I mean,
I still think Seattle's his if he wants it.
I think I'll let him in Seattle personally, but because I don't think Sheldon Keefe's going to get fired. I don't think Kyle Dubas is going to get fired.
I don't think you can. There's everything you've discussed, everything you mentioned is a good reason to fire somebody, but after 2 years, I don't think it is.
No, it's there's definite changes that need to be made. I don't want to, like I said, I know last night I said blow it up just because
it was a knee-jerk reaction. You were pissed. I knew
you don't blow it up, but you have to make a significant detonation. We'll say, a hand grenade instead of a bomb. We'll say.
The other thing that I don't want you to get
slightly blow it up.
Slightly blow it up. Yes.
The other thing I don't want you to get too down on it, but you guys ran into a buzzsaw with Carey Price.
Oh, he's arguably the best goalie in the world.
Yeah,
I know that.
Carey Price found Carey Price and played like Carey Price.
Yeah, that's 100%. I knew that.
In reality, that's pretty much why that series went the way it went.
Yeah, I knew he was going to be Carey Price. I knew that because, like I said, he's arguably
in the playoffs.
Best,
he does.
Yeah, he's arguably the best goalie in the world. I get that 100%.
Doesn't get there 3/4 of his career, but when he does,
right. But yeah, and I knew even when they were up 3-1, I'm like, they still got Carey Price, man. They still got to beat him one more time, you know. And Carey Price did what Carey Price does.
I think actually on air, the three of us were talking about it, and I said they could blow it, and you looked at me and said, no, they will blow it.
I said, I've seen this movie before.
Yeah.
I know how it ends.
It's a team, and I said they remind me of the Cincinnati Bengals, but really what they remind me of as the hockey equivalent is the Red Wings in like the 2010s.
Honestly,
getting to the playoffs was good enough.
You know what? Anything. I thought about this earlier today, and they do remind me of the Red Wings, but it reminds me of the early '90s Red Wings when they would lose in the first round.
Okay,
like when they lost to San Jose and when they lost to Toronto.
Before they actually did what they needed to do.
Before they actually did what they needed to do in order.
Post Dead Wing era, pre-dynasty era.
Yes, and that's kind of what this team reminds me of. And I heard somebody say, "Well, Yzerman and Ovechkin didn't win cups, so they were 32. So what? Big deal." That doesn't mean you have.
Yeah, but we're not talking about the greatness of the player. Like, Austin Matthews is going to be fine regardless of where he's at. Jonathan Tavares is going to be fine regardless of where he's at. These guys are going to have cups at some point. I'm sure of it. It may not be in Toronto.
Right.
They may not be the guy on the team.
Right.
But
both of them need to change the way they play.
I agree.
They do. They both need to change the way they play, especially in the playoffs.
I think right now they need to sit down and have a nice long look at what Colorado's doing. Because Colorado is showing you perfectly how to have young guys and still win hockey games.
And I mean, obviously, Joe Sakic knows what he's doing and building a team, the same way that Yzerman built Tampa Bay. You know, it's you need, and that's the thing about both those teams. They're both balanced hockey teams.
Yeah,
and just like the Bruins, they're the same way. They're balanced. They got a line.
The Bruins also aren't necessarily like they have some youth.
Right.
But they're not a young team.
No, I understand it, but they're balanced.
Yeah,
they're a balanced
definitely
fucking
are.
hockey team. Like, all three of those teams we just mentioned are balanced fucking hockey teams. They're not top-heavy like the Leafs. And even Montreal, if you look at it, they don't have a superstar on that team besides Shea Weber. And I would say borderline, he's a borderline. And Carey Price.
At this point.
I mean, Carey Price, your goalie, obviously, and Shea Weber, but you don't got a dude that like, offensively, that's a superstar.
The biggest name offensively they have is Corey Perry, who's at the end of his career.
Right, exactly.
Well, and Suzuki.
I do think Josh Anderson is going to be a stud, though.
Dude, that whole team, like, there's guys that they're showing flashes of greatness.
Yeah.
But it's hockey.
But
it's not
again,
hard to show flashes.
That team was significantly more balanced than the Maple Leafs, and they played a defensive system that said, okay, if you're just going to try to keep carrying the puck in, we're going to turn it over on you and go back the other way. Instead, the Leafs, this is why I'm actually upset with Sheldon Keefe. It's like, dude, you see this? They're stacking up they're clogging up the neutral zone. Like, you got to play dump and chase hockey. You have to. And in that situation, you got to play dump and chase hockey.
Yeah.
And he didn't adjust to it. And I get why he didn't adjust to it, because his players don't want to fucking play that way, and they can't play that way. Right. They can't adjust to it. And this is why they got to change their mentality going forward, regardless of if it's a regular season or the playoffs. Like, sometimes you got to play that way. And I know you don't want to do it, and I know it sucks. But if you want to win, you got to fucking do it.
And playoff hockey is entirely different than regular season hockey.
1,000% different. Absolutely.
Like,
totally different game.
It's funny because we can sit here and watch it, and fans can sit there and watch it, and you're like, oh, it's a hockey game. The difference between a playoff hockey game is in a regular season game. Playoff hockey is 10 times faster. It is 10 times rougher.
Oh, yeah. And the sad thing is, like, last night, Game 7, the Leafs played that game like it was a regular season game in fucking November. Like, that's how they played that game.
The little bit of that game I got to watch, they couldn't care.
I'm like, how the fuck do you have 22 shots in a Game 7? That's it? 22 fucking shots?
You get shut out. I know they scored the goal at the end of the game.
Right, but it was basically shut out.
You basically got shut out in Game 7.
Yeah. That was...
Well, shut out and on 22 shots.
Yeah,
like you
what,
can't...
22
that's,
fucking shots, that's it?
That's basically, you got mercied.
It's like a Major League. We got one hit. One goddamn hit.
Yeah, that's...
Like, it was funny because I was planning on coming in here and I was like, Vegas frustrated the shit out of me the other day. That game was fucking embarrassing. And Toronto did what they did, and I was like, oh, I'm off the hook as a Vegas fan because it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that was...
It was embarrassing, but it wasn't that bad.
Right. So those are my thoughts on the debacle of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, and it actually kind of corresponds with... At least I heard somebody kind of relate it to the Lions. We talked about this before the show. Is, you said apathy, and apathy is what Lions fans had and kind of still have for many years, even though this year is totally different and they're going to win the Super Bowl this
year.
But
what are they going, 19-0?
Yeah.
The parade route's already planned. but this was my progression as a Lions fan. Loved him. Apathy started to set in. Finally just didn't fucking care. And then that was done. It's fucking done.
So it's a 4-step process.
That's kind of how it worked.
Love them,
for me.
Apathy, don't care, done.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the same progression I went through. Yeah. I just went through it before you.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So but I laid those steps out to put numbers on them and say, so with the Maple Leafs, you are on step 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because apathy, you're rooting for him, right?
Right.
First you're rooting for him, you're all for it, and then apathy sets in, and you're like, all right, I'm a fan, but I don't expect them to win. It's like, whatever happens, happens.
You're at the point of the relationship where you're like, okay, I'm willing to make this work, but I don't know how much longer I can take this.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you are like, all right, well, I want to see them win. I'm still a fan, but I mean, I really don't. It's not going to absorb any of my time, any of my extra time. I'm just kind of over it. And then finally, you actually are over it, and you say, I'm fucking done, and I'm going to root against this organization for the rest of my fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is where you're at with the Lions.
Which is where we're both at.
Well,
actually.
yes.
He just made it there.
I forget that he's also there.
Yeah, he just made it there after a little bit after I did.
It took me a little time to see the light, but yes.
Well, you're a little younger than I am, so it might have been around the same time frame in our lives that it happened. You know what I mean?
Joe,
who knows?
Everybody's younger than you.
Well, that's true. Well, everybody in this room.
Fair
I wouldn't go with everybody. I'm not Moses.
I mean, have you ever tried to part a sea?
Jesus.
No, I left that right there for him.
Yeah. I said there's definitely a joke to be made there somewhere.
I left that breaking ball hanging right up in there for him.
I got family listening.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that joke laying right there. I'm going to leave that joke right there. Not going to take it.
That's fair.
But yeah, so relating that to the Lions, like I said, I heard a local media person relate it to the Lions, and and I don't think it's quite like the Lions because that would be giving the Lions too much credit.
The Lions have to make it there
Right.
before they can lose it.
At least Toronto makes it to the playoffs. They might lose every time they get there, but at least they make it to the playoffs. That's Lions are way well below that. So
also look at what they did in the regular season. They were a fucking powerhouse in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like Toronto was definitely not a team to sleep on. I didn't see a meltdown like this.
Well,
really being the case. As the Toronto Maple Leafs, I saw it, but as the team they were playing as, I didn't see this happening.
I mean, if you ask Lions fans, though, they're going to be a juggernaut in the regular season this year. So
I see them having a meltdown 6 years from now. Okay, that's how obvious this team is.
So we've shared some. I know you were not sold that Lions fans really thought this season was going to be great.
No,
right?
yeah.
So we both shared some things.
You have
to show you that what we're talking about here. Literally, there are a huge portion.
Oh, those weapons.
The majority, yeah. All the weapons.
Yeah.
The weapons they have. Oh,
I still want to know if Goff's carrying because that's the only weapon I know
that was great.
They might
That
have.
was funny.
That was fantastic.
That was great when he said that.
That was one of the rare times I actually laughed out loud.
Yeah, that was
You guys
funny.
are sitting here talking about weapons. I'm at work and I'm like, what the fuck is Goff carrying? Like, what is going on?
Are they going to let Goff conceal carry out on the field?
Because it's the only chance of having a weapon they have right now.
They keep talking about these speedy wide receivers and this best offensive line they're going to have in the league, and the speedy wide receivers they have, and the running backs that they have
set up like that for a long time. The Oakland Raiders, speedy receivers, a decent line, and mediocre everywhere else. And it doesn't win you football games.
No.
Especially
when your defense is still going to be atrocious.
But exactly. Lions fans don't see it that way. Oh, and here's the other thing. You I'm sure you've seen this too because you're on some of the same things I am. Lions fans don't believe it's that it's the worst defense in the league. They've made changes. They're going to be much better. They're going to be completely improved.
I will say they may not be the worst. It might be the second or third worst, but maybe not the worst.
But no, they've made a turnaround. They've replaced guys. They're getting guys back from injury, and it's going to be worlds different than last year.
I pay attention to this shit. I haven't seen that many changes on defense.
Apparently, you pay attention better than other Lions fans.
Like we got 2 new D tackles.
Yeah.
They weren't even the best ones available at the time we drafted them, but we got 2 new ones.
So, talking about football, I want to bring up a couple things here. CBS and Pete Prisco actually released their annual top 100 players. So we got the top 100 players of 2021, and I got the quarterbacks listed out here, and I just want to go through here, and I want you guys to give your input as to whether you think they're, properly ranked, they should be ranked closer to 1, or they should be out of the top 100 or
You gotta give us
closer to 100.
Top 10 quarterbacks, top 5.
No, so I've got let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7. There's 14 quarterbacks in the top 100.
Okay.
So I'll start off the closest to 100, and we'll work our way down.
Okay. So
All right.
Lowest to highest.
Yeah. So we've got at 95 out of the top 100 players, we've got Joe Burrow.
Generous ranking hasn't really proved anything.
That's actually my exact thoughts.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
it's hard when you do 100. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause it's like,
we'll make our way through this, and I'm sure we'll have some more thoughts
second
on
string D end at 80 something. It's like I don't
maybe.
fucking know.
Right, so there's 14 quarterbacks listed in the top 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's going to be some guys left off that, and some guys in here that you might go, hey, no, that's.
Right.
So we'll make our way through this. So,
I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
I think that's where they hope Joe Burrow actually is, but he hasn't proven it.
I would say talent-wise, maybe right now that's where he's at. But listen, he got hurt halfway through last year, and he hasn't proven anything. So for me, that's too high of a rank.
Yeah.
He shouldn't even be in the top 100 yet.
That's why I said it's generous.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be there, but you're giving him a little bit more of a bump than I would have.
I agree. All right, so next is at 94, one spot below Joe Burrow, is Kyler Murray.
I think Kyler Murray should be higher on that list.
If Joe Burrow is 95, Kyler Murray's at least 40-something.
Yeah, I think Kyler Murray should be higher on that list.
We are in lockstep on that one. I saw this and I went, "What the fuck?" You're gonna love these names listed below Kyler Murray now. First one listed below Kyler Murray is one spot below Kyler Murray.
So we're at 93.
93. Kirk Cousins.
Nope.
Kirk Cousins at 93 in the top 100 players.
I've already lost interest in this list just because of that.
Real quick.
This list is garbage.
Who made the list?
Pete Prisco.
Pete Prisco at CBS.
Did he graduate from Michigan State?
So it's this list is highly regarded every year, and he releases it for CBS. It's one of the more highly regarded top 100s that's listed. But I see some problems here, and it's just a little ridiculous. Some of these rankings.
I'll just say crack is whack.
Yeah.
Like, this is no good.
So next up at 88 is Matthew Stafford. Now keep in mind he's on a different team. He hasn't even played for that team yet.
I would say simply because he's on a new team, I would drop him out of the top 100.
I was going to say I would completely leave him off that list with a TBD next to him.
Yeah.
Because there's the potential that this dude's a top 30, 40 fucking football player if you put him on a good team. But what we've seen, he's not even the top 100 player.
I would agree with that. Like, I think you got to do a TBD on that.
I think he would. For me, he would have been at least closer to 100 rather than 88.
That's fair.
Kyler would have been listed above him.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And to me, he falls in the range of Kirk Cousins shouldn't even be on the list, and he falls in the range of
probably not.
And we've already discussed. I don't think Burrow should be on the list of top 100. So there's
I would probably even put Goff above fucking Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I actually probably would too. And I don't even think Goff's a great quarterback. But
No, I just think he's better than Cousins.
Yeah. Next up is at 83, and it's Matt Ryan.
No.
That's another one that I would have had off the list.
No.
One thing I am looking at on Prisco's Twitter, it said I had struggled with guys who had down seasons and injuries. Obviously, that's an obvious thing to say, but at the same time, in situations like this, like, it's kind of hard to put some of these guys on a top 100 list because of those things.
Yeah.
You can't leave them off, but you can't necessarily include them. And Matt Ryan's one of those people, in my opinion, because he has the potential to be that. But what I saw last year, no, he wasn't.
No. Next up at 50. So we've gone down the list quite a bit now.
We're halfway up
so
the list.
So the first 5 quarterbacks were from 83 up. And so the next 9 quarterbacks are all 50 and below. You've got Dak Prescott right at 50.
I would rate him higher.
I think 50 is fair because he didn't play last year.
So higher ranking as he should be closer to the 1 or he should okay.
Yep. But factoring the injury, I think 50 is fine.
I was going to say that's where I fall. Is I think factoring in the injury and how he's going to come back from it, I think that's an accurate ranking.
Yeah, I can live with that.
And because he was also at like a transition point in his career, he needed to either take that next step or he was going to remain probably where he was before in the 60s, 70s.
Right. Well, and I look at it as if he doesn't get injured, he's probably higher on this list because he was all the offense that they had.
He would have been like top 20 at least.
Yeah, literally, he was their offense. When he went out is when that offense completely took a shit.
Yep.
He was trying to outscore teams, 53 to 51.
Throwing like 500 yards a game, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah. Next up, we dropped quite a bit to 38, and it's Justin Herbert.
I would go higher up with that, more toward the 100. That's just me.
I agree. He showed a lot as a rookie.
Yeah,
and
especially
you're a fan of you're a fan. You were a fan of him coming out.
Yep.
I'm a fan of him now. He
Yep.
showed what he has.
Yep.
The only problem is he showed it 1 year. It was his rookie year. And I agree with you. I think he should be down the list a little bit. He should be in the top 100.
I don't know how
he's earned that.
I don't know how you can put him ahead of Kyler Murray.
I don't either.
That's insane to me.
I was going to say,
and you're not even a Kyler Murray fan.
I'm not.
I don't know Murray's stats, but Herbert, as good as he was, at the end of the day, had a slightly above average season.
Yeah,
I would take Kyler Murray and say he's definitely above an above average quarterback. I wouldn't say he's great, but he's good.
I mean, Herbert set some records for rookie quarterbacks, but when it comes down to it, his win-loss record wasn't very good. And again, it's his rookie season.
Right.
Like let him get another one on his belt before you rank him in the top 40 NFL players overall. I mean, this is taking into account offense and defense.
Yeah.
Again, generous, wishful thinking, but with the way he played, it could happen.
All right, next one up is 29. So we're in the top 30 players, and these are the last 7 quarterbacks ranked now. 29.
We're at 29. There's 7 quarterbacks.
Yep. 29 is Lamar Jackson.
I would put him way higher up. I would. And I love Lamar Jackson, but he's not a top 30 player in the league.
He's
not. I'm sorry.
He's not.
I have so much to say on this, but it's just
they want him to be.
Oh yeah,
they desperately want him to be
right
because they want. He's Mr. Madden at this point. Like
right.
they would put him on the cover of Madden every year. If he's the guy they want him so badly to be.
He is what they hoped RG3 would have became.
Yeah, and they want so badly for him to be the next Michael Vick, but comparing him in the same sentence as Michael Vick is disrespecting Michael Vick.
You're never going to have another Michael Vick.
Because Michael Vick could actually throw the football. Lamar Jackson, his accuracy has not gotten better.
And not to spin totally off the topic, but Mike Vick I look at the same way I look at Patrick Waugh. I don't compare anybody to Patrick Waugh because Waugh changed the game. Michael Vick changed the game of football, period. You can't compare somebody to that.
Michael Vick is the reason why we have some of these quarterbacks on this list. Kyler Murray. Like, if you want to compare somebody to Michael Vick, Kyler Murray's closer than Lamar Jackson is.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray can run, and he can throw. You know?
I said
he's not just...
I like Lamar Jackson. I'm sorry, I cannot put him high on this list.
I think he's ranked where they want him to be on that list.
I agree.
Now, I don't think he's earned that. I think some people would have put it even higher.
Probably.
But I think logically.
That being said, with his accuracy, we've seen that can be worked on. I'm surprised it hasn't been fixed yet, but it can be worked on.
It can be. He needs to fix it before I can rank him that high.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Because we're talking, if he regresses just a little bit, he probably falls out of the top 100. If his accuracy gets any worse,
in my opinion,
if his arm gets worse.
Well, where he should be, in my opinion, is closer down. I mean, it's farther down the line towards 100. And if he doesn't progress, he's out of the top 100.
Right.
But to me, he shouldn't be at 29. That's just way over ranking.
No, that's a spot that somebody who has a lot of money attached to the name gets.
Next up at 23 is Deshaun Watson. Take out the fact that he wants out of talent alone.
Yeah, I got to go. Same thing with Lamar. I got to go higher. I got to put him more toward the 100 than number one.
Again, I see the potential there, but what you have given me through the course of your career, you haven't earned that spot.
Yeah, to me, he's better than Lamar.
Oh yeah,
I'm fully on board with that. But again, he hasn't proven he can really truly win. I love Deshaun Watson as a player. I think he's got all the skills.
I think he has the potential to be the next Aaron Rodgers type of quarterback.
But he hasn't taken that leap.
Right.
You know, that big step. He's just not there yet. All right, so the last 5 are all top 10s. All right, and it starts
because fucking media loves quarterbacks.
Yeah,
of course.
And it all starts with your boy.
I was a D tackle. I just naturally hate quarterbacks.
It all starts with your boy.
Josh
and
Allen.
and my pick for MVP last year was Josh Allen
at number 10.
At number 10.
Okay, I can live with that.
I think it's a little high.
Yeah, I think
it's a
I
little
would
high.
probably put him closer to 20.
Agreed.
But not
Love
definitely a top 25 player.
Yeah, love his talent. Love the progress he's had.
Mm-hmm.
Love the accuracy that he's got. He's got better with the accuracy. I just think top 10 is a little bit stretching it at this point.
Okay.
If he has the same year this year that he had last year, then I'm going top 10.
Oh,
yeah, for
But
sure.
I'm also saying I'd put him closer to 20 because in his game, I see more there. So
Yeah.
I don't even think we've seen all of Josh Allen's game.
I agree with you.
I think there's more to be seen there. So it's almost like, okay, this car could do a $110. Yeah, well, what happens when you shift a gear?
Right.
It's going to go faster. I think that's what you have in Josh Allen. He's only allowed us to see a certain amount. Once we see everything, he might even go higher up that list.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. Next up is 8, Russell Wilson.
Fair.
I would go higher. Just because, like, every year he seems to collapse. I would go higher up, 100%.
That is a fair point.
The first 6 weeks
Yeah.
of the season,
He's
Russell
MVP.
Wilson is MVP.
Yeah.
The
And
first
then
6
all of a
weeks of
sudden-
the season, he's the number 1 player on the list.
Right.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, every year he just falls off the planet Earth.
And that's a lot to do with the team he has around him because they,
I agree.
like you, and you've said this, you railed on this point during football season about just how much that team relies on him, and then eventually you crumble. There's only so much you can do, man.
Yep.
I think that's also coaching, organizational type issue, though.
Yeah, you can only go so far carrying all the weight on your shoulders before you're gonna eventually collapse at least down to one knee.
Right.
And then it's all on you, and you can't
Right.
carry a team that far when you're kind of all they have. You just can't do it.
Right.
And maybe that goes more to showing what Russell Wilson actually is, because he does kind of carry them so much. But next up is number 4.
This has got to be where Kaepernick's at.
It's
Right. Jesus.
Tim Tebow. No.
Oh God.
Number 4 is Tom Brady. Can I lead off with this one?
Yeah, by all means.
Way too fucking close to 1. Push him down the list. I love Tom Brady. Tom Brady is probably the best quarterback to play the game. But when
I was
it
going
comes
to say, if we're talking an all-time list, he is number 1.
right, but right now in the top 100 players, man, I'm putting him closer to 10 to 15. This so close to 1 right now. With him being 40 something, yeah, he just won a Super Bowl. But let's be honest, with the top 100 players in the league.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you got to put him closer to 10 to 15. To me, it's too high, and I'm a Tom Brady fan.
I'm gonna say something, I'm a Brady. We're both Brady fans here. Chris, not so much.
I
But
just honestly don't. He's whatever. He's there.
Yeah,
I don't hate
think-
him. I don't like him.
But honestly, the way you look at him, I think is what he is now. Even putting him at 10 to 15, I think would have been a generous ranking. I think he is a feasible quarterback right now. I think at 47 years old, it's incredible he does what he does. I think he knows how to put together wins. But when it comes to pure talent,
I think with him, it's more.
maybe give him the 50 spot because pure talent. No, he's not that great.
It's for him. It's more of what he does motivation wise, what he
It's
does
the
for his
intangibles.
team. Yeah, it's those things. And I think when you're ranking top 100 players, you're going on talent, on
Right.
what they've produced.
Yeah, that's
and
top 100 to me says based off talent.
right. So for what he's produced, it's one thing, but also his talent level and what he's going to be this season. So this is for 2021.
Right.
I can't rank him 4.
No.
I just can't.
I got him in the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
In all honesty, I'd probably go even lower than that.
That's fair.
I don't want to, but I would.
Next up at number 3 is Aaron Rodgers.
Honestly, I'd have him lower.
The guy that Green Bay may or may not have told to shut up and play football.
The guy who just won MVP.
Yeah.
No, there are
number
reports
3.
that have come out that Green Bay may have told him to just shut up and play football.
When it came to what? What was he supposed to shove about?
With him asking to be traded. No, we're not trading you. Shut up and play football.
Oh, he's not coming back.
Not a chance in hell.
If that was the actual conversation, no, he's definitely not coming back.
No.
Aaron Rodgers 3.
I'd
I'd put him at 8.
This just in, Aaron Rodgers retires.
Yeah, no shit.
Right.
Your new Jeopardy host.
Right?
I'd put him at 8. Definitely a top 10 talent,
Yeah.
but on the lesser end of the top 10.
Yeah, but he's on the down. Even though he just won MVP, he's kind of on the downside. I don't see him producing this year. If he does play, I don't see him producing the way he did last year.
Right.
I think it's top 10.
I'd put him.
Maybe closer to 10.
I'd put him in the teens somewhere.
Really? Okay.
Specifically for the reason you just said. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see him putting up the same type of numbers that he just put up.
Right.
This past
And
season.
which to give him credit,
and not to mention, you see some of the shit he's doing in the offseason.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I want to know where the fuck he was when Miles Teller got punched in the face the other day.
I know, right?
They were all in Hawaii together. Where the fuck were you?
Aaron Rodgers ain't getting in a fight. He was smart.
Your boy
he was
just got punched in the face, though.
Yeah, but I mean, Miles Teller, who doesn't want to punch him in the face? He's kind of a douche.
I don't know him, so
Well,
I can't
no,
say he's a douche,
from what I've seen about him, from what I've seen of him and about him, he's kind of a douchey person. Listen, his movies are good. I've watched a lot of his movies, but he's kind of an arrogant person.
That's
from
fair.
what I've seen and
Who
heard.
in Hollywood probably isn't.
Yeah.
Well, there's some, but anyway.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
Can we just get the top 3?
Top 1 is. I mean, tell me who it is.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yes.
Yeah. There's no way around that.
Can anybody tell me some notables that were left off the list?
Some notables?
Well, there's Baker.
Yeah. I'm surprised Baker was left out of that list. To be
I'm
honest
very
with you.
surprised Baker was on the list. Because
Yeah.
I'd have at least snuck him in the low 90s just to have his name on the list.
Where's Mitch Trubisky? Let's go.
I mean,
Cam's not on the list.
You've got guys like Matt Ryan,
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford, and Joe Burrow.
I'd put fucking Baker ahead of all 4 of those fucking guys.
I'm glad you said it because I'm trying not to be the homer.
I would absolutely, and I fucking hate Baker Mayfield, but I would put him ahead of all 4 of those fucking guys. Easily.
If I was starting a team right now, I would take Baker before I took Matt Stafford.
And Lamar Jackson at 29,
That's insane.
as opposed to Baker didn't even make the list.
And they're so... I'm not going to say they're so equivalent because there's things in Lamar's game that Baker can't do, and there's things in Baker's game that Lamar's not great at. But when it evens out, they're both, like, the same. They'd have the same Madden rating in my head, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Like-
It does. I'm glad you guys said it because that was the one major one that stood out to me, and I thought, well, maybe it just stands out to me because I'm a Cleveland fan. But
Am I a fan of him? No, but I can respect A, what he brings to the game,
Yeah.
and B, the fact that, regardless of the fact that I don't care for him, he's also one of the best quarterbacks in the
He
game.
is. He absolutely is.
Maybe he's not a top 10, but
To say-
definitely a top 15.
To insinuate that he's not, it's
Right.
That's just ignorant.
If things don't work out for him in Cleveland, he's 100% going to be a starting quarterback somewhere else.
100%. Yeah, I actually am very surprised he's not on that list.
Do you have the full top 100 list?
I do. Is there anybody that you're looking to tell me where?
No, I was just interested in what the top 3 were.
Okay, so top 3 is Patrick Mahomes,
Aaron Donald.
Bingo.
Number 2?
And number 2 is Aaron Donald.
Okay.
And Aaron Rodgers is number 3. Yeah. Tom Brady 4. Travis Kelce comes in at 5.
Overrated.
Slightly.
I think
agree
it's
with
too
that.
high. I think it's too high for him. Yeah,
I think it's too high for a tight end. To be honest.
I would agree with you on that.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Slightly. I think he's very talented, but I think 5 is just
Not
a little
top
bit
10.
No.
That's insane. Not
And
even shit, top 5.
It's me playing favorites, but I'd still take fucking Gronk. Historically,
Right.
not currently, but historically, I would still take Gronk over him.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't. But I think it's too high for him in this one. TJ Watt comes in at 6.
Okay.
Devontae Adams at 7.
That's a little bit generous.
Russ at 8. I think Devontae is the best wide receiver in the league right now. I really do. I truly do.
I want to see
7
what he does without Aaron Rodgers.
We'll see.
Exactly.
We'll see.
With DeAndre Hopkins doing what he can do, I don't know that Devontae is the best,
Right.
but
Yeah,
a case
and
can
believe
be made for
me,
it.
DeAndre. I like DeAndre's game, but I would put Devontae Adams ahead of him. But so then Russell Wilson comes in at 8. My boy Myles Garrett at 9. Josh Allen at 10. Let's see. We've got some notable running backs coming up. Derrick Henry at 11.
Okay.
See, I have trouble with him being the top-ranked running back.
I have trouble with running backs being that high.
I kind of agree with that.
Just because it's not a running league.
It's not a desirable position.
It's a passing league. So to me,
running backs are a dime a dozen.
Right. To put a running back that high to me it's
well. And to me, there's other running backs that have more talent than him and will produce more overall than him.
Well, and a lot of his numbers are a testament to how good that O line is too.
Yes.
Like no disrespect to the talent the kid has, but running back numbers can be inflated by a fucking great line.
Emmitt Smith.
So let's see. 12 is Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
13 is Tyreek Hill.
I think it's too high for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Slightly, yeah, I agree with that. Alexander and Jalen Ramsey coming at 14 and 15 respectively.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pass some of these defensive players. I'm going to read off some of the notable offensive guys.
Okay.
Dalvin Cook at 19 is the second running back on the list.
If we're going off of pure talent, that's my number one running back.
And that's okay. But
see, if we're going off of pure talent, if we're looking at running backs, and I agree with you, I think either one of them are ranked a little too high when it comes to running backs, because running backs is not a position that's really truly paid anymore. Like you can get by with a couple of guys that you don't have to.
You don't need one of these names or Christian
right.
McCaffrey.
Thank you.
And I know it's the Lions, but you can get by with a DeAndre Swift.
And especially a dude that has an injury history like his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's a bit high for me.
Yeah, even that's high, and I thought Derrick Henry was way too high, but even that's high. Christian McCaffrey falls in at 21, and I think he's the best running back in the league. Barring that injury that happened last year, I think he is by far the best overall running back in the league.
If we're talking while healthy, I would take Dalvin over him, but I think multi-purpose all around, McCaffrey, is your clear most important running back because you can build a team around him.
Where did Tebow end up?
Not on the list.
Number 1.5.
Number one in jersey sales.
Yeah, fucking Christ.
So the next tight end off the board is at 22, George Kittle. And I actually truly believe George Kittle's a better player and better talent
now
than Travis Kelce.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, if we're talking historically,
I can't disagree with
that.
But right now, absolutely.
He's better overall.
Right.
Like he's a better blocking tight end by far. And I think if you put him on that team and take Travis Kelce off, I think he has the equivalent numbers as Travis Kelce on that team.
But this is where Travis Kelce should be on this list.
Right. This is the area where he should be, yes. Along with...
Is there a Detroit Lion mentioned on that list?
So let's see. Let's go down the list here. This is another one that stands out to me as fucking just not good. 28, Julio Jones.
Not anymore.
No.
Not anymore.
No.
Again, like that's so dependent on Matt Ryan. If Matt Ryan's playing the way Matt Ryan played at the top of his career, then sure. But the way they've played lately, no.
Listen, you have Julio Jones at 28 and you have DeAndre Hopkins at 36.
Oh, yeah, that's a
tell me
that's just disrespectful.
Yeah, that's bad.
Completely.
That's bad.
So then you have Alvin Kamara at 37.
Okay.
Your boy Darren Waller falls in at 35.
I think Alvin Kamara should be...
So Waller's ranked on this list above DeAndre Hopkins. 35 is Waller, 36 is Hopkins.
I think Alvin Kamara should be right around where McCaffrey is.
Okay.
Because I feel they're very similar type players.
Yeah.
So
I
he's actually one that I totally forgot about when we were talking running backs.
Yeah, Kamara should be way closer to McCaffrey in my opinion. Let's see. You got we already went over Herbert at 38. You got DK Metcalf at 39. I think it's too high for him right now.
Yeah, I think that's you're trying to make him a name right now, so you made him a little bit higher on your list.
Justin Jefferson falls in at 45.
I think that's your best receiver in the league right now.
Justin Jefferson,
the potential to be the best.
He
receiver
has the
in the
potential
league.
to be, but I think it's too high ranked right now. It was a rookie year. They got him ranked with Allen Robinson.
Yeah,
right next to Allen Robinson.
You're ranking him off of 1 year. Next year he can come out and totally shit the bed. In my opinion, it's going to change. Like there's still a lot of room for him to finagle everything.
I'm trying to look for a lion here.
That's why I said
you got Zeke. Zeke is at 57. Jesus. Zeke Elliott's at 57.
No, them.
That's about right.
It might even be a little bit high for him.
It might be.
If a line were on that list, the only one I could think of would be Hawkinson.
Nick Chubb is at 63.
Okay.
That's fair.
I think he should be a little bit lower.
I think he should be closer down the list.
Yeah.
I think he should be on the list a little bit. To
Yeah, I would agree
me,
with
he's shown he's the equivalent of a Dalvin Cook, and he's on the same kind of level as Derrick Henry as far as talent goes. I mean, he can run through the line, he can plow you over, and he can catch the ball in the backfield. I think that's some disrespect
Guys
right
like
there. But
that, and the way guys like that have panned out, are why, as a Lions fan, I do have a little confidence in DeAndre Swift working out, because you don't need to hit high first round for running back. You can get those guys at the top of the second, middle of the second, and they end up being just as good.
Yes, I agree with that. Let's see. Odell falls in at 81.
I don't think he's on that list.
Yeah, he should. He should not be on that list.
He should not be top 100. I agree.
No, I agree with you.
Let's see. Frank Ragnow is the first Lion.
Oh, nice.
At 85.
Okay.
Fair enough.
That's
right next.
It's not a terrible ranking either.
Yep. He's listed as a guard here. Next
he's not a guard.
Right, he's not. But he's listed at 85, and Joel Bitonio, the guard for Cleveland, is at 86. And both those guys are ahead of Saquon Barkley.
Wow.
I think that just has to do with where he played.
I think
if
it had to do with-
Saquon was on a decent team, he'd have been much higher.
And I think it has to do with his injury last year, too.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
He got hurt, 2 games into the season?
Yeah.
And he was hurt the year before that, too. Matt Stafford at 88. We already talked about that one. And let's see. I'm trying to look at any more notable ones. And no. Some just missed here. It says just missed. Von Miller, Kenny Galladay. Let's see. Some more notable ones that just missed the list.
I don't.
Josh Jacobs.
That's a name that I'm surprised isn't on there.
I think his talent level is top 100. I don't think he's truly produced that way because of the way that offenses run.
He's also a fucking head case, which could be hurting him being on that list too.
Well, yeah, and your boy Jonathan Abrams might not be on that team much longer either. Speaking of head cases, I mean they drafted 3 safeties, two or three safeties to replace him.
What do we talk about when it comes to my jerseys? If I buy a jersey,
he gone.
The player will not be there.
Nope.
She gone.
I bought that jersey and I went, watch this fucking guy get shipped out of town.
He gone.
Yep. That's gonna happen. All right. So next up and last, I think, unless you guys have anything else to get into, is our cameo for the day, and this one comes from Vanilla Ice.
Oh.
So word to your mother.
Oh, it's Vanilla Ice today?
Vanilla Ice.
Thank you.
All right, stop.
Collaborate and listen.
No. Just all right, stop.
Nice. Oh man, I'm trying to freestyle.
All right, here is Vanilla Ice's cameo.
Hey, I'm sending this out to Todd Hubbard. That's right. Hey, man, you got your friend Tyler there who tells me that you're looking for love in all the wrong places. That's right. He said you got to stop dating strippers. And that's funny, right? Oh, bro.
If you have to say that's funny, right, dude, it's not funny.
But it was funny because it's Vanilla Ice telling you to stop dating
showing
strippers.
Up to work late. Stop the hangovers. Stop wasting money on vacations and girls and watches for random girls that you don't even know. Hey, sounds like you're getting it how you live it, but if you're looking for love, gotta quit looking for the dirty girls, man. They're only good for that one night, If you're looking for love,
girls like Cheyenne.
I don't know what to tell you, man. Better get over to the grocery store
with her silver G6.
With her silver G6 and the Newports.
Playing a little Go Ninja Go. They always go for that.
He really just told him to play Go Ninja
Go. Man, don't take anything in life too serious. Enjoy every living, breathing moment. And always remember, smiles are contagious, all right? Word to your mother. Yeah. Todd and Tyler. Over and out.
Nice job, Rob Van Winkle.
Oh, man.
I have the last 2 minutes of my life back.
And actually,
what horrible friends, by the way.
I know, right?
Well, also, I'm watching him walk around this premises, and I went through a few of his cameo videos. He's always walking around the same house location.
Yeah.
That dude spent his money. That dude saved his money and invested it well. Holy shit.
He did, and he's doing like TV shows and shit now. Yeah,
but my God,
I was
that
gonna
dude.
say he still fucking kills it in royalties too.
Jesus, that dude is got bank looking at his house.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. How much does a fucking windbreaker cost? That's what he wore half his life.
Pretty much, yes.
That's a good point.
Full windsuit. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. You guys have anything else you want to get into?
Nope.
All right.
Word to your mother.
Word to your mother. Go Ninja.
Just stay away from those dirty girls.
Stay away from dirty girls. Stay away from strippers. If they do strip, it doesn't mean they are strippers. Anyway, so that's going to do it for tonight.
Unless you're Zach Wilson's mom.
Yeah, unless you're Zach Wilson's mom. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight. Just give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. As always, check out our website, sotdet.com. We want to thank everyone for listening and or watching. On behalf of Chris and Frank, I'm Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye. Have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No. Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
You were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.